Alongside Apple, Samsung is perhaps the world's most prominent phone maker, with a reputation for creating feature-rich devices with great camera technology, refined designs, and heaps of innovation. There's a level of ability and consistency from Samsung's phones that frequently lands them in several of our top buying guides, especially prominent lists like Best Android Phones and even Best Smartphones. The company spends a huge amount of time and effort refining its phones' photographic and video capture capabilities. To help you find the right model, we've listed the top 5 Samsung phones and their key features, plus the things you need to consider to help you choose the best one for you. And as always, you can check pricing for any of these products in the description below. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Number 1. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, the best Samsung phone overall. Galaxy S23 Ultra is packed with improvements that help it rank as the best Samsung phone available in 2023. In a nutshell, this phone has a tougher build, faster memory, a more efficient battery, a custom-tuned chipset, and a new 200MP main camera that blows its competitors out of the water. Design. The S23 Ultra offers only subtle refinements to its predecessor's already excellent design. There's a similar pill-shaped top-down profile with curved front and back glass feeding into a metal frame. One change is the reduced radius of the curved edges of the display, which offers a greater flat surface area. Display. Aside from that reduced curvature along its edges, the S23 Ultra's display offers a familiar viewing experience to its predecessor. As on last year's Ultra, you get a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X panel with a resolution of 1440x3088 and a dynamic refresh rate that can scale between 1 Hz and 120 Hz. Camera. The Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera setup is incredibly versatile. It boasts a wide, ultra-wide, and 2 telephoto cameras, giving you optical zoom at 3x and 10x respectively. Add to that an absolutely huge 200MP sensor for the primary camera, and the S23 is easily the best camera phone money can buy. Performance. Previously, Galaxy S phones were powered by either Samsung's own Exynos or Qualcomm's Snapdragon Silicon, but the S23 series has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset worldwide. This eliminates performance disparities that previously left users of Exynos-powered phones feeling behind the curve. And it's fast, very fast. Battery life. The S23 Ultra keeps the same 5000 mAh battery as its predecessor, as well as the latter's support for 45 AU wired charging and wireless and reverse wireless charging. In testing, the phone delivered some of the longest screen-on time per charge, approximately 8 hours, of any device we've sampled recently. Value for money. Naturally, the S23 Ultra's phenomenal hardware comes at a price, and the phone is even pricier than the S22 Ultra in a lot of markets. No handset that demands a 4-figure sum can reasonably be described as good value, but if you can afford it, this is the best Samsung phone money can buy. Coming to the number 2, Samsung Galaxy A54. The A54 is essentially a light version of the Galaxy S23 further down this list, bringing lots of its range features to a lower price point. It's not the absolute cheapest phone Samsung makes by some distance, but it unquestionably mid-range and definitely worth considering if you're on a budget. Design. The phone measures 158.2 x 76.7 x 8.2 millimeters and weighs 202 grams, so we call it medium-sized. It's not so big that it's uncomfortable to use, so long as your mitts aren't massive. It's also undeniably attractive, adopting the floating camera design language found on the S23 series. Other colorways are similarly pretty. Display. The Samsung Galaxy A54 boasts one of the best-looking screens you'll see on a phone for this price. It's a vibrant, colorful 6.4-inch Super AMOLED panel with a FHD Plus resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 1000 nits max brightness, marking some nice upgrades over its predecessor. Cameras. The main camera is an optically stabilized 50MP f/1.8 sensor, joined by a 12MP ultra-wide and after ditching its predecessor's depth sensor, thanks to all-focus pixels on the new main sensor, a 5MP f/2.4 macro sensor. The snappers take photos that are bright and colorful, which makes shots of wildlife, food, landscapes, or people pop. There's good dynamic range for a phone at this price, and pictures are sharp too, as long as you take them on the main camera. Performance. The Galaxy A54 may lap same price rivals in the camera and display departments, but it falls behind on performance. The chip here is the Exynos 1380, which is a home-brewed piece of mid-range kit from Samsung, and, while capable, battery life. The 5000 mAh battery is on the big side, though we see lots of mid-rangers pack this kind of power. Value for money. The Samsung Galaxy A54 gives you some surprisingly top-end specs for its price in some departments, but in others, it's weaker than its rivals. Coming to the number 3, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. With the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5, Samsung hasn't tried to reinvent the genre or radically alter the foldable's display or design, save for the ability to finally fold flat. Instead, it brings a number of small but welcome enhancements over the Z Fold 4, plus a new processor, but leaves further room for improvement. Design. While the Z Fold 5 isn't radically different from the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4, its flat folding form design finally addresses the series' biggest design faux pas. Excellent build quality and IP-certified water resistance make it a trendsetter. Display. The main screen is a 7.6-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display with 2176x1812 resolution, and which supports an adaptive refresh rate of 1 to 120 Hz. The cover screen, meanwhile, is a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED panel with a 2316x904 resolution. It also has an adaptive refresh rate, but the narrow aspect ratio isn't the best. Camera. The Z Fold 5 has similar sensors underneath, though they're backed by a more powerful chipset here, to the previous 2 generations of Fold and the same. There's also a selfie camera on the cover screen and a low-grade selfie cam under the main screen. Performance. We're happy that the Z Fold 5 has Qualcomm's top-of-the-line Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, as it needs all the power it can get for the multitasking gymnastics it's capable of. Battery life. The battery lasted approximately 15 hours, which is pretty good, though we would have liked more. Still, getting that far is a testament to the chipset's power management capabilities. Value for money. It's one of the most expensive phones, especially if you go for more than the base 256 gigabytes of storage. But if you want the best foldable on the planet, that's the current price you'll have to pay. Coming to the number 4. Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. Though it's now been superseded by the S23 Ultra, last year's model remains a fantastic choice for anyone who wants a big, powerful phone, not least because its price has dropped since the 2023 version landed. Design. The frame is a solid armor aluminum that resists bends. Polished on the outside to a near-chrome finish, the metal is sandwiched between Gorilla Glass Victus Plus plates. The front glass is high gloss, and the back is a warm satin finish. Both repel fingerprints. It's also waterproof to the IP68 rating. Display. The 6.8-inch AMOLED screen is another highlight. It supports up to 3088x1440 pixels, WQHD+ resolution, which works out to 500p and which matches the S23 Ultra. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, by contrast, has 458p on its 6.7-inch 2778x1284 screen. Cameras. The camera is an obvious highlight on the S22 Ultra. There are two 10MP telephoto lenses. One is f/2.4 with a 36-degree field of view, FOV, and the other is f/4.9 with an 11-degree FOV. There's also a 12MP ultra-wide with a 120-degree FOV, plus a 108MP main-wide camera, f/1.8 with an 85-degree FOV. The S22 Ultra's zoom capabilities. Performance. Over almost a week of intense testing, the S22 Ultra never let us down. It's a fast and powerful phone. The 4nm processor. In our test phone, it's the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset. Battery life. Like the Galaxy S23 Ultra, the S22 Ultra features a beefy 5000 mAh battery and wireless charging. In our tests, the battery was good for a full day of varied activity, but not much more. Value for money. The Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is a premier phone at a premier price, but that price is now slightly lower than it was before the arrival of the S23. Given all that you're getting here, it's arguably better value than the 2023 model. Coming to the last, Samsung Galaxy A13, the best budget Samsung phone design. This feels like a phone that's going to last, and we like the way that the rear camera module is embedded into the back of the phone, up in the top left corner, something Samsung did in all of its 2022 Galaxy handsets. Display. The Samsung Galaxy A13 comes with a 6.6-inch 2408x1080 LCD screen that does a decent job with websites, photos, videos, and games. It's suitably bright, vivid, and crisp, and while there's no support for HDR or anything above a 60 Hz refresh rate, we didn't have any real complaints in this regard. Cameras. There's no doubt that spending a bit more money is going to get you a phone camera that captures significantly better pictures, but at the same time, the Samsung Galaxy A13 isn't going to let you down most of the time. Performance. You'll be able to run everything you want to be able to run, but you're going to have to put up with slower speeds than you would get for a more expensive handset. Value for money. If you want value for money and you want Samsung, then the Galaxy A13 is worth a serious look. The best budget phone you can buy for 2024.